Now in this series, Limbo's talked about a lot, obviously, because it's a magic series. But we don't really go there. Like, in this Storm series, they've been to Limbo more times than in this series. That changes today. Support the comic book industry by visiting your LCS. My name is Dorian, this is SCM Comics. We continue our coverage of Magik on number 6. Our story starts off in the Limbo Embassy in Manhattan. Now, if you're wondering why Limbo has an embassy in New York, Krakoa, just that happened during Krakoan era. And you have Madelyne Pryor walking with one of her demon assistants, for all intents and purposes. And he's trying to let her know that there are some rebel forces in Limbo that pose a real threat to her leadership. But she ain't really listening to him because she feels like she has bigger issues. Because, in her words, she is the mutant queen of a demonic realm, and the UN is probably not going to look kindly to. But as soon as she goes to open the door, there is a huge explosion. Huge explosion that pretty much brings down the Limbo Embassy. But then we cut to Minnesota, where you have Magik, Juggernaut, and Psylocke, and they're hunting down the remaining demons of Luminol. And you got Juggernaut, who's like, man, I'm so happy you included us in this because I am so happy to be away from Alaska for a while. Which is saying something because it's not like they're somewhere that's like known to be warm. It's Minnesota. But all of a sudden Magik gets like this mental pain, and as much as she wants to be away from the place, she's still connected to Limbo, and she knows something happened. So she teleports to New York just in time to see Madelyne Pryor free herself from the rubble. She protected herself with her mutant abilities, but she still got messed up. So Magik's trying to help her, and she's just wondering what the hell is Magik even doing there. So then she's like, you. And then she walks over to this demon. She goes, kneel. And then she's like, let's see what secrets you have to hide. You see, a lot of people tend to forget that Madelyne Pryor has all the powers of Jean Grey. So she reads his mind, and yes, he's the one that rigged her office to explode. So then she's like, my aide was right. I need to deal with these rebels, and I need to deal with these rebels right now. So then she turns to Magik, and she's like, look, I never wanted you here, but since you are here, you might as well come inside. And then Magik's like, look, I'm not here to do anything but help you. This is your show. Again, I'm just here to help. So Madelyne just pretty much wants her to come inside so that the media doesn't eavesdrop on whatever they gotta say. So once they're inside, Madelyne lets Magik know that she actually has intel on these rebels and how they're trying to create a weapon that will rival her Sigh of Sorrow or Magik's Soul Sword. Because the weapons are the reason why they're able to lay claim to the throne. So the Magik's like, yeah, this is probably going to be an issue. And then Madelyne's like, look, don't you try to pin this on me. I've been far more active than you ever were. And again, Magik's like, I'm not trying to challenge you or I'm not trying to critique your rule. Again, I'm just here to help. So Magik opens up a portal and goes, after you, your highness. And then Madelyne's like, that's not even the right term. So they get to Limbo, they go into the castle, and she's like, get my war council together and also let them know that we have a special guest. So she meets with a war council and she wants to know exactly what they know about these rebels. So one of them's like, they've been using old magic to cloak themselves, but now that we discovered them, they're actually a lot closer than what we first thought. So the Madelyne's like, why didn't you just deal with them? And they're like, because we can't make a move without the queen's approval, and you haven't been here to approve anything. So of course this pisses off Madelyne, and she's like, I won't be questioned by my own council because this makes her look bad, like right in front of Magik. And then the demons are actually looking for the approval of Magik, which pisses Madelyne off to no ends. And she's like, if you're looking for your queen's approval, she's right here. And then one of the demons like, forgive us, your majesty, but Ileana Rasputin holds the soul sword. So the Ileana's like, newsflash, I gave up the throne to Maddie, so she gives the orders now. So Madelyne just storms off because she's pissed off, and she's like, you know what, I'll just handle this myself. So then Magik turns into Darkchild, and she goes, send your battalions to back us up, or don't, but know that there will be consequences. I haven't forgotten your hospitality when I was younger. So then Ileana catches back up to Madelyne, And Madelyne's like, look, this is the exact reason why I didn't want you to show up, because they were going to question my rule. Like, this thing is hard enough with you gone. With you here, it's almost impossible. So then we cut to the rebel demons, and they are trying to make a soul sword, and it looks like they're actually pretty successful. But then our two queens of Limbo, former and current, pay him a visit. So the demons are definitely caught off guard, and Madelyne's like, well, speak. And then they're like, we will not lower ourselves to speak to a human. Humans are meat, are playthings, not our rulers. So go back to your own ilk. So then Madelyne's like, I can see where you're coming from. My answer is no. And then she cuts one of them in half. So as they start fighting, Magik is thinking to herself, and she's kind of questioning Maddie. And then Madelyne has to remind her that she can hear all of her thoughts. Again, all the powers of Jean Grey. So she's concentrating on the fight. She's also concentrating on what Magik is saying about her in her head, that she loses focus of the demon that's right behind her and knocks her down. So they grab her, and then the demon that made the soul sword, well, the new soul sword, is about to stab her with it, when all of a sudden Magik is like, I wonder. She uses her powers and she summons the sword to herself. Once she grabs the sword has some dark energy to it, which is perfect for Darkchild. So as she holds both swords, she's a little bit of Darkchild and also a little bit of herself. She takes the sword and she goes, names have power in Limbo, so I'm gonna go ahead and name it. This is the Wrath Sword, as she cuts the head off of the dude who made it, or demon who made it. And then Madelyne uses her powers and takes care of the rest of them. So of course the demons are like, this ain't over, this is just a start, and we're gonna be around. And then Magik, being Magik, is like, oh yeah, that's fine. You just keep making the weapons and I'll just keep collecting them. So the Magik uses her powers to pretty much immobilize all the demons, temporarily immobilize them, until they are able to get put into the dungeons. So the Magik and Madelyne are talking, and Madelyne is like, yeah, you know what? I really didn't want you to come, but I'm kind of glad you come because I really kind of need your help. And then Ileana has to let her know that, look, just because I came and helped doesn't mean that I don't believe in you or that you can rule this place. I know you can rule this place, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't mind coming here sometimes to knock a few demons around. Actually, if you want, I could be a more hands-off consultant. Just let me know. But before I do that, I gotta take care of some business on Earth. Some mistakes that I made that I still need to fix. So the Madelyne's like, no problem. Whenever you're ready, Limbo's open. So then we cut to Society of the Eternal Dawn's headquarters, which nobody knows where it's at except for them. And we see a lady walking through the hallways. She goes to her office and she hops on the phone and she starts talking to Danny. And Danny fills her in on what happened to Luminol and Cal. And the lady's like, well, why don't you just come on in? My hunters are always welcome back home.